my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is going to be the review of this beautiful palette, which is the Summer on Earth palette from Alien Cosmetics. This is how she looks, the beautiful child. I have been lusting after this palette for the longest time, and at some point I think there was a sale on the Alien Cosmetics website, and then I just picked it up because you know how I am, you know how I tick. I try to wait for sales even though I want something. Usually, let's put it like 80% of the time, I feel like it is worth my wait because it is just expensive. Makeup is expensive, you know? Not particularly this one maybe, but in general, makeup, I think the pricing has gone up like crazy, and that's why it just, for me personally, makes sense to wait for sales. So this is what I did with that, and I am so glad though that I finally got it because it is such a special, beautiful palette, and I knew that. I definitely knew that from the get-go. That's why I wanted it, but it's not the first thing that I have featured here on my channel from Alien Cosmetics. Of course, you have all seen, maybe not all of you, but some of you, me featuring the Moody palette from Alien Cosmetics, and I want to say, even though I think the Moody palette, because it is a little bit bigger, vibes more with me because this is just 9 pans, but I want to say that the formula in this one here is outstanding. Outstanding, you know, not that the other formula was bad or anything, and I don't even know, I don't have a proof that there is a change in formula. It just feels like this one was easier to work with, and it's just a super nice formula. I don't know, so that was just my initial feeling. So we're going to do something a little bit differently today, because usually, if you're not new here, then you know that usually I create my final look that I want to do as my review look on camera in the video of my review. Now right now I'm going through a bit of a rough patch emotionally and like mental health wise. I am it's a bit hard for me to right now to share my makeup time, because for me, I love to be like, I love to be creative. I love to create my looks. I love to look beautiful, obviously, but when I'm filming my makeup looks, it's work, and right now I just cannot do it. I cannot do it. I still want to be here. I still want to talk about makeup. I still want to film, but I don't want to share that time, you know? I'm sorry. But right now I just need that for myself, because it is like for my soul, you know, because right now my anxiety level is so high. It has reached unknown heights. I cannot even tell you, and I don't even 100% understand why, but it is really extreme right now, and that's why I don't want to do makeup on camera. But I hope that you still believe me that I did the looks that I did, and I'm going to show you also the other looks that of course I did with the palette. So this is the look that I did this morning with the palette. This is my 4th look. I'm going to also tell you in a little bit how I did this and all of that, and also maybe the other products that I used, because I definitely want to point out the highlighter and all of that also. But anyway, we're also going to want to swatch this palette, and I think I'm going to do that right now. Just want to say, as a word of explanation, if you do hear some sawing noises, that's because there is some serious sawing. I think one says it like that, going on outside. There's city workers, they are cutting down trees. So yeah, what can I do? Okay, so let's get ready for the swatches. Of course, we have just nine pans, so I'm going to live swatch this instead of including a clip where I swatched it previously or something. So this is what we're gonna do. Maybe I should just quickly talk about the palette a tiny little bit, because we have 3 mattes here, which is this one, and this one, and then we have 2 satins, which is this one and this one, and then we have 2 shimmers, this one and this one, and 2 breast glitters, this one and this one. So this is what we have, and I'm going to swatch them like this, row by row. Okay, I'm going to swatch them on a bare arm. I should get something to wipe my hands with. Coming unprepared, that is not professional. Okay, but you know, creative minds work that way. Okay, so let's just go in with the green matte, which I also used today, of course, as you probably can see. So I'm going to just put that here. So this is of course pastel-y leaning, you know. It swatches like a dream. I hope it shows up nicely. I mean, I feel how buttery it is, and I personally love this. This is like a little bit like Juvia's Place formula kind of a thing. If you like that, then you're probably going to like this palette. So I'm moving on to that yellow matte that is next to it, and both of those shades have a bit of a white undertone, which of course makes them like pastel-y leaning, you know. And in one of the looks that I'm going to show you also, I used those two and also the pressed glitter that is leaning more green. This one here, I did wear that look. Wait, I did wear that look on last Tuesday's video. If you want to see that, that was my haul for the month of July. That is the look that I just talked about, and it was just so lovely. And you know, to create a lovely look with a palette like this that is super vibrant, you know, it's just such a nice thing that this palette gives that too, you know. Okay, we're moving on to the shimmer shade, which is Skinny Dip. Okay, so this is how it looks. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. When did I get that good at swatching? I don't know. It must be because the anxiety is high and I'm performing better like that. Maybe also because the pressure is gone, because now I told you I don't want to like performing on video right now, and maybe that's why I feel more relaxed about everything. That could be, you know, because I don't want to sit here and drink wine or something, because I don't. Okay, so this is Slush. This is a bit of a satin shade, I want to say. This is a bit crumbly, but performance is beautiful, really beautiful. It swatches a bit like a matte, but I'm pretty sure it is a satin, I want to say. I didn't check this on the website. I'm just doing like what I'm seeing here, you know. So anyway, next one is another blue shimmer, which is the lighter one of the two. This is Poolside. I'm also wearing that today. I'm getting seriously good at this. Look how straight. So proud of myself. All right, then the next satin is also a blue one, and that is Cold Shoulder. Let me just get my finger on that one. All right, so this is also crumbly a little bit. So maybe that is a thing that those two satins do. I don't know if Alien Cosmetics sees what I'm doing here, but if you do, dear people, then let me know if I'm saying something wrong. Okay, so this is what it is. It swatches a little bit crumbly, but that is not the performance of those shadows at all. I mean, I used that shade today. I'm going to talk to you later about that. Okay, now the pressed glitter. I'm going to swatch that not with my finger. I'm going to use a brush for that, because I always feel it gives a better impression and it just performs better like this. What I want to say about... Oh, maybe I should have used my finger. What I want to say about the pressed glitter is that this binder, maybe you can see how strong this binder is, because I have a bit of a hard time like blending this out even. This binder is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, if you saw me talking my review about the Julie Beauty Intergalactic palette that I just had up, I think last week. Wow. Beautiful. So I was struggling with that binder in that palette. I was like ready to throw in the towel, you know. I didn't know what to do anymore in most of my looks there. I loved the shadows and I loved it all, but even with using a glitter glue, it was really tough. Now I used glitter glue with those glitters because I still had this whole experience from the previous palette in my mind, that like almost like my whole face was covered with glitter, you know. I'm not sure if I even needed that, because you see how this sticks. I have nothing on my arm, you know, and this packs on and doesn't budge. So this is pretty much amazing, you know. Okay, two more shades to go. We have Gravity, which is a dark blue, like a midnight blue matte. Go me for explaining colors. Okay, this is also swatching a little bit more crumbly. It is though a beautiful, beautiful shade that packs on a punch when you have it on an eyeshadow primer. You know, I'm also wearing that, of course, today. I used basically this shade to darken up most of the looks that I did. So this is a dark blue, beautiful and a little bit crumbly right now, but just for the swatching, not for the performance on the eye. And then we have Ambient, which is another pressed glitter, which I'm also going to swatch, of course, with the brush. And this is a stunning one. Actually, both of them are super stunning, but this one is like leaning blue and purple. It's sort of a mixture between this midnight blue and this purple, you know, so beautiful. I could just do a whole look just with those glitters. I cannot even tell you how much I have fallen in love with glittery looks these last months. Okay, so it is getting a little bit, it's not so straight anymore. So maybe I'm not as good as I thought. But anyway, this is how it looks. I think you can see how foiled those glitters look. You know, they're absolutely stunningly beautiful. So there you have the whole color scheme. I think this is an amazing, amazing, fun color scheme if you like, you know, if you like these kinds of colors, and I do. I mean, you know that I'm leaning so much towards these kinds of colors. Blues and greens and purples are my most favorite colors to work with. So this was really a logical decision that I have to have this palette, you know. Plus, I am, of course, a fan of Alien Cosmetics, and I do believe that they have an amazing kind of a vibe going on about what products they're coming out with. You know, they have a lot of creativity going on. And as of right now, I have already also ordered the Frolic, what was it called? Frolic something, Frolic Fairy, I think, palette, which is also, it's more like a fall themed palette if you ask me, but it is also super lovely and super special, and I cannot wait to have that one too. So anyway, so let's talk about the performance. So these two swatched amazingly and also not at all crumbly. The other shades, which was this one, and this one, were a little bit more crumbly in swatching, but when they in performance on my eye, there was no problem with any of the shades at all. Now, if I'm right, and these two are satins, because they are a little bit more shimmery and not shimmery, but you know how satins are. They're like this hybrid between mattes and shimmers, sort of, right? So they have a little bit of a sheen to them, and I personally prefer to not have that, because I would have loved if these would have been mattes too. This is my only thing about the palette where I said maybe if the palette would have been just for me, for my personal makeup preference, I would have changed that. I would have just kicked out the satins, because I do not need satins in my life at all. But that's just me. And I know that especially a lot of more mature women love satins, you know? So it all makes sense. I'm not saying it shouldn't be there. It's just that if I were to change something in this palette according to my personal makeup preference, I would just have total complete mattes, and I would completely be fine with that. So as I already said to you, those pressed glitters are exceptional. I would prefer, like, I would put them always on with a glitter brush that is like you know, a stiff brush that you can also use like for a concealer or for a cut crease or something. Put them on like this, and if you want to then diffuse the edges, go in with your finger and like dab it over the edge to have a little bit more of a lovely blend out, because of course you can't really super blend out pressed glitters, especially when they have a good binder like this. Then the shimmers, I used them today on my lid. Maybe I should zoom you in. Maybe I should do that. Let's just zoom you in and show you my look from today. Is that good enough? I don't know. Alright, so maybe you can see that I used that dark blue in the outer corners, and I also dragged it a little bit into the crease, and then I have those two blue shimmers on my lid. I have the, wait, let me zoom you out so I can explain the rest to you. It's a mess. Okay, so I have those two shimmers here on my lid, and I also blended out this dark blue with this satin. that's what the word is, the satin here towards the outside, you know? Yeah, so this, of course, I have above my crease, these two. Under my lid, I have this one, and no, under my lid, under my lower lash line, sorry, I have this one, and then I have like a speckle of the purple just under my lashes, you know? So I did not use any of the glitters today, but I did use the glitters in basically every other look that I did. Now I'm going to show you quickly the looks that I did with the palette, and I'm going to put some music so you can enjoy. I hope you do, and I'll see you here in just a second. Okay, sweeties, I hope you did enjoy the looks. I tried to do like a nice range of stuff, you know, because I always try to get into the mood of the palette, or like to get the essence of the palette in the looks that I'm doing. And today I think I used most of the shades that I could possibly have used, you know. Maybe I could have put a glitter here or there, but anyway, so that's what I did. I also want to quickly point out, if you're interested, that the highlight that I'm wearing today is from the Marília Scott Cosmetics palette. My highlight is to Bright palette. I also have the inner corner highlight is this blue one here, and the one on my cheek, on my cheekbone, is the shade Viral, which is sort of also purple leaning, and I love this palette, sweeties. I like really. Okay, and then for blush, I also wanted to quickly show you, because I know I do have quite a big local audience here in Israel, and that is probably just something that you guys can get here, and that is from Beauty Care. And this is the terracotta blush in a 01. This is the shade. It has also a purple in it, you know, and they actually, wait, I have color on my fingers. They perform so well. I'm not a super big fan of that brand. It is a very, very low cost brand, let's put it that way. But eyeshadows and stuff I wouldn't buy there. But anyway, the blush I tried, and I have two more blushes in that line, and they all performed super well, because these are the baked blushes, and the dry, the powder blushes, I don't think they're worth the money, but the baked ones are actually pretty good, you know. So anyway, back to this palette. I really, really highly recommend this palette, and I know people already say, oh, Leorah, you always love everything. Is there anything that you would critique in a palette, or like, would you ever put down a makeup product and say this is garbage? No, I will not. You know, I will not if it's not true. And so far, I have just enjoyed my makeup, and I'm just really, really happy about that. So anyway, back to the review. Is there anything that is a dud in the palette? I would say absolutely not. Everything performed super well. There was no creasing. There was a tiniest little bit of staining with the purple, but really, when I say tiny, I mean really, really tiny. It was just a hint, and it came off basically after washing, you know, after washing my face, taking off my makeup, there was a tiny hint, and then I usually go in anyway with like a micellar water or something like this, and then it came off easily. So it was really, really insignificant staining, let's put it that way. Blendability was absolutely beautiful. Buildability was absolutely beautiful, because in some of the looks I even worked on a set surface, at least when it comes to everything above the crease. And when you work like that, you actually really, really see if a palette has buildable shades in it, because you need to build them up, and you need to be able to go in on top and on top and on top in order to build up the shade to the intensity that you know that you want. So that was absolutely no problem. The color scheme, of course, you see it's beautiful. Shade range, I think, is also nice, especially if you lean towards like darker, more vibrant, more dramatic looks. If you want to have, of course, something that is a little bit lighter, then basically you're stuck with these two shades, because everything else is like super boom, right? So anyway, the design of the packaging and everything is just so on brand. Really, really lovely. It's cardboard packaging. It has, of course, this design here on it, and then it has like a is it reflective? I don't know how to say this. Maybe you can see that it has this kind of a shift to it, which is super, super cool. The whole theme is just so beautiful. I love this. I absolutely love this. I had the best time with this palette, and I'm super, super grateful that I got that. Yeah, so what would I change? The only thing I would change is maybe taking out the satins, if there are indeed satins, but I'm pretty sure they are, and just have mattes. But that again is just me, so really who cares? Anyway, so you let me know, what do you think about this review format? Does that work for you? Because right now I feel like I'm having a bit of a creative tantrum, if I might want to call it that way, that I just say, no, enough is enough. I cannot all the time perform. I just need to have a little bit of space for myself and for my creative soul, and I just need to take that for myself right now. So let me know what you think. Okay. So anyway, the other thing that I wanted to mention, that I do of course have a code with Alien Cosmetics. I always feel so bad about this, and I shouldn't be, because I am absolutely in love with this brand. It's not like I'm pushing a code down your throat. You can use it or not use it, whatever. I am though affiliated with them, and you'll find the code also in the description box. It'll give you 10% off your order. So just in case you wanted to know, and thank you for supporting me. If you do want to use this, I am also affiliated with Marilia Scott, and you will find that code also in the description box. So anyway, I'm in love with this palette. I have said that now a million times. I would absolutely recommend this if this is the color scheme you're looking for, or if you want to try Alien Cosmetics for the first time. This is a formula where I would say this is really, really top notch, you know, and I personally enjoyed every second with this palette. Every second. It was not hard to get into the palette. Sometimes I have this thing that I need a couple of looks to do with the palette till I sort of get the vibe, until I get into it. I did not have that with that palette at all, you know? So maybe it is also because I have already worked with Alien Cosmetics before, but I want to say that really I feel the difference between the Moody palette that I have already featured and this palette, the Summer on Earth palette, is different. It is more buttery and more smooth and more, I don't know, I feel like the formula in the Moody palette was a little bit drier, which doesn't mean a bad thing. It is just a different thing, you know? We do not need to always judge it, this is bad or this is good. It's just different, you know, and it depends what your preferences are. So for me, these more buttery shades work just really, really well, and I loved it. So that's what I want to leave it with for today. And I hope you did enjoy yourself. And of course there are more reviews coming up, because I have another 2 palettes to film with, not today, but it's coming probably next week or at some point, and I hope you're up for that. So if you are, then please subscribe to my channel. Please check out my other videos, because I'm also doing lifestyle, I'm doing wrapping tutorials, so I have a bit of a wider range. It's not just makeup related, but I hope you will enjoy yourself here, and if you do, then yes, please join my tribe. I would really, really love to have you here. And besides that, I want to wish you a wonderful day or a wonderful evening, and go ahead and sparkle till I see you next time. Hugs and kisses. Bye.